Hey, what's up guys? John here. What's going on in Colorado is going to restructure and change the U.S. housing market. Look at this. On an average real estate transaction of $1.4 million in Summit County, the tax proposal means the homeowner would be paying over $390,000 per year in annual property taxes. $390,000 a year. Well, how much is that? $32,500 per month, over $1,000 per day in taxes. Now, why are they doing this? What is going on here? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening because I think what's happening in Colorado is going to be going to places like New York and a variety of other states because they're going to need to pull revenue because office vacancies are through the roof. The entire economy is, softening, or some would call going down the toilet, and they're going to need to pull money from somewhere. And so they're going to be going after real estate. They're going to be going after it in a very, very big way. I'm going to break it down for you in this video. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this content, educate more people about what's really happening. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description. Schedule a free strategy session. Take a look at this. So, the decline in office continues to impact retail stores and hotels in the city, contributing to the sector's slow recovery. At the same time, single-family homes, which constitute a majority of residential properties, have exhibited a robust recovery and continued growth. So governments are looking at this saying, hey, we're taking a big haircut on the income derived from these office buildings, these commercial properties. But over on this side, a lot of these homeowners have a lot of equity in their properties. This equity should be ours. We can use this money for social services and a variety of other measures that they may have in store. And so they're looking at this as the next target, property owners. And so they say citywide taxable billable assessed value, the proportion of market value to which tax rates are applied, increased 4.4% to $286.8 billion, the New York Department of Finance said in a press release. So when you start to look at Colorado, this article, by the way, this here, they were going after not just rental properties. This was all properties. And back then, when they were talking about this, they were saying that several county assessors across the state warned that there will be an increase in median residential values in many homes, according to the Denver Post. The assessor said that property taxes could increase by 35% in Boulder, while other areas may see a rise of 60 to 70%. Assessor estimates rise in median residential value, 38% in Adams County, 40% in Lemire County, and 41% in Broomfield County. So you start to look at this. They went originally for the entire housing market. Now they're zoning in on short-term rentals. There's probably a lot of kickback going after all homes. And so when you're starting to look at this, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be a gradual movement into increased taxes. With office vacancies now hitting 17.8%, this is higher than the Great Financial Crisis. So they're not going to be going after these properties because these values are going to fall 40, 50, 60% in many markets. So single-family homes are going to be in big trouble. Colorado homeowner mass exodus sparks fear. So this just came out. When you look at what is happening here, Colorado's rental homeowners may be getting hit with heavier taxes if a state bill passes the next few months, and it could leave a lasting mark on the housing market. The legislation would classify short-term rentals as commercial and therefore institute a higher tax rate on the homeowners, bringing in hundreds of millions in additional revenue for the state each year. If the bill is passed, it would mean short-term rental homeowners pay property taxes at 4 times the rate that they currently do. The bill has been voted to advance to the full legislation in January, but many rental homeowners are concerned about its potential impact. Of course, how could any property owner stay in business as a short-term renter or short-term rental? You wouldn't be able to. Supporters of the tax argue that it's necessary to address the state's affordable housing crisis. A realtor in Portland area said they pointed out that short-term rentals are often taken off the long-term rental market, driving up prices for residents. The increased taxes might result in higher costs for short-term rental owners, which would ultimately be passed on to Airbnb users in the form of higher rental rates. Well, they would just go to hotels. Why would you spend $2,000 a night to be at an Airbnb when you could stay at a 5-star hotel for $400 or $500 or $600 a night? have room service right to your room. No cleaning fees, none of the junk fees associated with Airbnb. You get a full white glove service. Airbnb would be basically done in Colorado. But the big question is it going to be in just Colorado, or is this just the start? My belief is this is just going to be the start. And many states are going to be watching Colorado, watching how this whole thing plays out. Here, they say that short-term rental owners show up in force to oppose Colorado lawmakers' plan to tax their homes at a much higher rate. Colorado lawmakers got an earful Tuesday from short-term rental owners on a proposal to classify many of their homes as commercial properties and impose a much higher tax rate. The legislation would also require quadruple property tax for tens of thousands of short-term rentals in Colorado. Tens of thousands. You have to imagine. You hear everyone saying there's a shortage of home inventory. Home prices are not going to come down. There's no way. You look at what happened the last couple of years. The average down payment for a first-time home buyer was 6%. The average down payment for a second homeowner was 12%. So on average, probably somewhere between 9 and 10% is a down payment. That was at a 3% mortgage rate at the height of the market. Now you're seeing a situation where rates went from 3% to 8%, and the price point in which someone would have to earn on an annual income basis to be able to buy one of these median homes doesn't make sense. People are opting into rent. So what's now going to happen as insurance and taxes go up and potentially these newfound bills start to get passed? What's ultimately going to happen? Many people are going to get priced out of the market. Inventory is going to continue to creep up, especially in Colorado. So when you're looking at this situation, they're going after tens of thousands. If there's 25,000 of these short-term rentals, how many will actually be able to stay in business? 2,000, 3,000? Most of them are going to get completely pulled from the market, or they're going to go on some type of black market. They're going to try to figure something out. But most of them, I think, are going to be forced to sell. It drew fiery testimony from more than 80 speakers at Tuesday's hearing, a legislative oversight committee concerning tax policy, which voted to advance the bill to a full legislation in January. The measure would classify homes that are rented for more than 90 days a year on a short-term basis, defined as less than a month per booking, as commercial lodging properties. The property tax assessment rate lodging properties is 27.9% compared to 6.765% rate used this year for residential properties. More than 75 of the speakers voiced ardent opposition for the proposed law, an indication that the political hurdles the measure faces, the change endorsed recently by the governor, is meant to place short-term rental properties on level ground with hotels and motels and generate more money for schools and local districts, which are funded by property tax revenue. Similar proposals to short-term rentals over to commercial tax rates have fizzled at the Capitol in recent years under pressure from short-term rental owners. But the bill comes as Colorado voters are casting ballots for Proposition H, a 10-year property tax relief plan that taxes second and subsequent homes, many of which are used for short-term rentals. Proposition H is seen as a precursor to the classification change proposed under the bill considered on Tuesday in the Oversight Committee concerning tax policy. So you start to look at this bill here. You have to imagine what this will do. I believe some states are actually going to do well because you're going to start seeing, look at Florida, look at Texas, they have homestead exemptions. You're going to see a lot of people buying in some states that have homestead exemptions, looking at the insanity, all the crazy proposals that are happening in many other states, saying, you know what, I'm going to buy a property. Maybe I'm just going to buy a property and hold on to it. Sure, insurance is going to go up. Sure, there's going to be my fair share of issues, but I'll have that homestead exemption. I'll be able to cap my taxes. And that's what I think a lot of people are going to be looking at. They're going to be looking at what's the next curveball that could be coming at them. They're seeing it in the economy. They're seeing it in all these different areas, the job market. Left, right, and center, they're getting hit from all directions. And so what I believe is going to happen is I think that a lot of people are going to be looking and they're going to be flocking to safety. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Airbnb is in very, very, very big trouble as this economy starts to sink, and proposals like this ensure a very bad outcome for Airbnb and short-term rental owners. How do you see this situation playing out? Do you think we're going to see property taxes, imagine that, $390,000 a year on property tax for a $1.4 million home? $390,000 per year. I think it's going to be a devastating blow. And I'm surprised that people are allowing this to even get to the state that it's in right now. Maybe it doesn't get passed. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does, right? I'm surprised that this is even being now considered. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think this is the end of it, or do you think we're walking into a scenario where we're going to start to see many other states adopt very similar policies? Let's have a conversation about it. If you want to fix your credit to position yourself, what I think is going to be the greatest real estate wealth transfer of all time, we'd love to help fix your credit at greatcreditfast.com. That's greatcreditfast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to greatcreditfast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video to schedule a free strategy session, and I'll see you guys in the next one.